I suppose I've always been somewhat paranoid. At the age of around 8, maybe 9, I came home from school one day. My mother must have been shopping or downtown, and I heard noises. I thought there were people in our basement. It sounded like they were playing table tennis. Bong, 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 bong. The ball bouncing back and forth. It frightened me, so I left the house and ran down the alley to my best friend's house, a kid named Stevie Fryer. And I hollered, Stevie, Stevie, come on down. I think there's somebody in my house. So he ran down the alley with me. We went into the house, and he said, I don't hear it. I said, listen, man, you hear. He thought he heard it as well, so we ran across the street to where my dad worked. Before we ran, we put butcher knives in our pockets. And we ran across to him. I said, Dad, I think there's somebody in our house in the basement. They're playing table tennis, I think. I think they're in our basement. And he said, go get out of here, son. What's wrong with you? Just go on home. There's nobody in our basement. So Stevie and I left the florist and started across the street. And there, coming up the street, was Ronnie Rambo. Ronnie Rambo, of the Rambo family, a gypsy family that lived across the street from me. Ronnie and Charles and his two sisters. His mother and father were married at the objection of the tribe because Ronnie's mother was his father's stepsister. So they were kicked out of the tribe, but Mr. Rambo was built like a weightlifter, well muscled. He worked at the slaughterhouse, and all day long he picked up carcasses and slammed them on a hook over and over and over again. He's a well-built man. Stevie said, my mother said I can't play with the Fryers. I can't play with the Rambos. And he started running across the street. He didn't look, and he ran straight into a car. And he bounced off the front fender of the car and made a somersault and bump onto the street. He wasn't moving. And I was frozen, standing on the side of the street looking at him, totally and absolutely just frozen. I stood that way for a while, and someone came and they led me across the street, and I went in the house, and they called the police. And the first policeman that came was drunk, so they had to call a second policeman. And the ambulance came, and Stevie is all right. He just had a concussion. Another adventure in the day of Harold.